What's going on, YouTube? You're back with Shades, and we're continuing our Let's Play of Katawa Shoujo. I'm using the right microphone, am I not? Yes, I am. Boop, boop, boop. But, anyway, last time we left off, and I have not touched this game in a long fucking time, we fainted. We fucking fainted. We had a bloody heart attack, and, oh my god, it was the most beautiful cliffhanger, and I'm not entirely sure I uploaded it. Let me, give me a second. I'm not sure if I uploaded that part yet, because, bruh, it was so weird. Oh my god. We were running, and we were doing so well, and then, we see her, and we collapse. And I was scared. Bruh. Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. What's going on? Sorry I have to do this to you. To get slide over me. Lily's... Okay, I'm good. I just wanted to make sure that that part had already been uploaded before I talk about it. But yeah, I mean, of course it would have been, but I didn't want to know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we saw Lily and her sister, and then we just fall to the floor and everyone panics. And then we get this white screen. And I'm like, oh my god. So anyway, let's get to it. I haven't touched this game in forever, and I'm really excited, and I want to finish Lily's path here, and then and then after that, I'm gonna take a little break from Katawa Shoujo and pick up another free visual novel that I'm kind of interested in, but I'll talk about that more later. Dots. What's going on? As I slowly open my eyes, a bright white light assaults my retinas. For minutes, I just lay where I am, mindlessly staring ahead while my scattered thoughts coalesce in my slowly waking mind. Slowly but surely, the white begins to come into focus as a bare expanse begins to be drawn across my field of vision. It's only when the light fixture comes into view that my mind clicks and that this is a ceiling above me. Slowly levering myself up, I silently absorb through all my senses the detail of the room I'm in. The smell and taste of strong bleach hang in the air, lending the impression of a place just slightly too clean to be natural. Inoffensive pale peach-colored walls, all perfectly painted without a crack, stain, or imperfection. A single framed painting hangs on the wall, perfectly straightened. Like the walls, it's as boring as inoffensive as can be. My attention is grabbed by the translucent curtain waving across my vision. My eyes follow it to the open window it covers. When I move my right arm to try to lift myself up, I look through it. I feel the catheter dig in uncomfortably. It's only now, too, that I notice the cannula tubes winding around my cheek and into my nose. After some fidgeting, I settle for just looking around the corner of the window. Oh god, what happened? Oh god! Oh god! Beyond the thick leaves of several large trees, I could see the greenery below, backing out into a field, a customary island of green on the outskirts of the city. Judging by the sun outside, it's noon, of which day, though, I'm not sure. So, I'm in a hospital once again. I let out a long, tired breath as I collect my scattered thoughts, my mind seemingly cast in a dozen directions all at once, with as many emotions running through me. After slowly lying back down, I decided to start at the beginning, why I'm here. Give me a second, I just have to lower the encoding settings, I'm having some trouble. I cast my mind back, but I can't work out a smooth recollection of what happened. The events of last night, or whichever night it was, come back as more of a series of snapshots than any cohesive memory. Lying on my bed, looking at the origami bird. Talking to Hideki at the Hakamichi residence. Running down the street, passing pedestrians and bumping into more and more of them. Falling. Looking up at the searingly bright airport entrance, seeing Lily's back as I lay on the ground. The silence of the private room suddenly feels overwhelming. So that's it. I had my chance to correct my mistake, and I blew it. Whether I was at fault for neglecting my medication and disregarding to pace myself, or my body was for getting out too soon, it doesn't matter now. I got that last one wrong, and the music's really loud. Oh, that's why. Because my audio's really loud. It's loud for me, but it should sound the same for you now. All that matters is that, once again, I'm alone. The pastel blue pillow yields with little resistance as I let myself fall back into the bed. Its starchy case, along with starchy sheets, provide little comfort. Compared to the darkness of last night's events, the bright light of the room around me is striking. All it does, though, is emphasize how otherworldly places like this are. Arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign alien word, one that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. It was a miracle that you were able to go on so long without anything happening, they said. And then it did. My condition had taken away everything. My old school was of no importance anymore. My home was reduced to a faraway place. Both my friends and my first love simply stopped visiting after a length of time. I became cynical and embittered, distant and subdued. In my defense, no person could avoid that after such a thing happening to them. But nonetheless, I left the hospital as a very definitely changed person. Things changed. I made new friends in Hanako, Shizune, and Misha. I found a new sense of home in my dormitory, a new interest in science and the world around me, and I found a direction into my life that I had never felt before. But I'd also discovered other things. The sense of isolation in Yamaku and its surrounds was not entirely unwelcome. The quiet of giving a peace of mind I might not have found elsewhere. But it gave the area a feeling of being pushed out of the way, of being kept out of sight. People in the streets would sometimes glance awkwardly or quickly turn their heads as they realized they were staring. Even if my condition wasn't visible, my uniform was. Even if it weren't, I was still different. I took 17 pills a day, morning, midday, and night. My scar, though hidden behind clothing, was still a permanent mark of my condition, and most of all, there was still a very real possibility of death. A bad fall, an absent-minded hard hit on the back, a simple sprint taken too far, anything could have set my heart off, and several times I teetered on the edge of the abyss even with all the care I took of myself. But that was fine. I could have lived with all that, because there was one final thing I'd found, or rather refound, after entering Yamaku, which was once again snatched away before my eyes. It's only now that I realize just how delicate my newfound sense of happiness was. Everything depended on her, the linchpin of my life since I first entered Yamaku as a sullen, confused, and aimless transfer student. Lily Sato was the one person I could depend on above all others, and who reciprocated the love that I felt for her, but I failed her and only realized it all too late. I thought that I could just set my life up and continue that way forever, but the real world doesn't work like that. I finally realized the meaning of those words, only to be struck down as I confronted my failure to do so in time. The surroundings I'm in now are all too familiar, and it's as if Yamaku was but a dream and I'm still recovering from my first major heart attack. Maybe that's why I feel so tired. It feels almost as if I've lived the entire last few months of my life in the space of minutes. The weight of my eyelids closes in my eyes, my physical and mental exhaustion letting me offer no resistance. Unintelligible mumbling from the head of the bed stirs me out of my sleep. With my eyes still closed, I can focus and make out someone, presumably a nurse, bidding farewell to a doctor. As I open my eyes, I notice the door closing in my peripheral vision. The doctor stands reading some notes off a clipboard held in his hands, carefully looking over the pages. After consulting his obviously very important documents, he looks up and notices my gaze. It's now that I notice something slightly odd about his expression and general disposition, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Ah, I see you're awake, Mr. Nakai. His quick glance to my bed and to verify my name shows that his documents obviously didn't have it written on them. I must admit, this is a bit unfortunate. Your parents visited just earlier while you were asleep. I could notify them you're awake now if you'd like. Thanks. That would be good. I gave a somewhat dazed reply, most likely the one he'd expected, but before I really think about what I'm saying. Not a problem. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, I'll be happy to answer them. That is, unless you prefer to rest. The anesthetic is still going to be affecting you a bit, I'm afraid. The anesthetic, of course. That'd be why I feel so strange the first time I woke up. I slowly shake my head, not wanting to dislodge any pipes or cause of myself any more discomfort than necessary. The doctor politely puts down his clipboard in response. I guess my main question is, what exactly happened? To put it simply, you've unfortunately had another heart attack. While not as severe as your first, you were very lucky it occurred so close to a hospital. After being stabilized, you were taken to the operating room. What followed was keyhole surgery in order to insert a temporary pacemaker. All in all, the incident happened 2 days ago, with emergency treatment being carried out very soon afterward. Since then, we've kept you under close observation while you were asleep. Will I be alright? Are there any lasting problems? Compared to the procedure carried out in your first heart attack, this was relatively minor. While you will have to undergo surgery once more in a few days' time to remove the pacemaker, assuming there are no complications, there should be no lasting implications. He continues talking, the subject shifting to the repetition of the facts about arrhythmia and my medications that I already know for the most part. I start to nod and feign interest while my mind drifts. I begin to think about how perfectly hung the inoffensive painting hanging on the wall behind his shoulder is, and how neat and sterile the surroundings are, even including the doctor himself. If my mumbling bores you, you're quite welcome to say so, Mr. Nakai. Lord knows I lose track of myself sometimes. He gives a short chuckle at his self-deprecating joke, as I grimace awkwardly, having been rather badly caught out. The doctor's chuckle sounds different from the nurse's at Yumaku, though, come to think of it. As I ponder why, I realize why the man in front of me feels just that little bit off. His smile is neat and sterile. He delivers his little joke perfectly with a customary inoffensive chuckle. It's like rather than talking to the man whose name is neatly printed on the name tag pinned to his lab coat, and merely interacting with an actor reading off a pre-rehearsed script, every action having been choreographed beforehand. I suppose he has to be this way, though, being a doctor. He has to keep his neat and sterile smile when chatting to the girl with cancer slowly spreading through her body, when reassuring the woman who will surely die from childbirth, and with every other terminally and critically ill patient. That little bit of distance, that little bit of aloofness. It makes me wonder if I've been too harsh, especially considering it's a disposition far from being adopted only by people in his profession. After all, the one I loved kept the same distance from others herself. Looking up to the doctor again, I realize I've been in thought while my head bowed for some time. I understand you must still be tired. You've been through a lot, and as I mentioned before, the anesthetic would be still affecting you. If you don't mind, I'll let you get some rest. Oops. Scroll back. Whoops. Oh, you've been through a lot, as I mentioned before. The anesthetic should... okay. If you don't mind, I'll let you get some rest and tell your parents you've woken up. I think that would be good. Thank you. He gives a curt nod before picking up his clipboard and making his way to the large white door in the corner of the room, closing it behind him with a thud. In the end, I'm alone again. Lily's gone, Akira's gone, Hanako would be traveling, and even my parents have already left the hospital. 4 pale peach walls, 1 white ceiling, and a single open window to look out toward the world outside. It's hard to think of a future when the past is crowded around you, claustrophobic in its neat, sterile, starchy, bleach-smelling grip. As for what to do or focus on, I content myself with sleeping the time away as if this was all just another dream like Yumaku had been. White. A sterile, clean white for a sterile, clean room. My eyes open and I simply stare at the ceiling for some time. It's about as interesting as a television would be, mounted on its metal rack hanging off the ceiling ahead of the bed. Indeed, the television saw its entire use during the time my parents were here. Left on quietly as they waited for me to wake, it was about as banal as it had been the first time I had ended up in the hospital. Earlier today, an attending nurse had offered to turn off the EKG speakers. I refused simply because the sound is so entirely normal to me now. It's almost comforting in a way. The metronome-like regularity gives at least some feeling that time is moving, even in a place like this. After some time of listening to its beeping when fully awake, though I realize there's another sound in the room. Concentrating all my efforts on listening, a task made rather easy by the lack of distractions, the tiny tinny melody can be heard. Light and quiet, the music sounds almost fragile as if it's dwarfed by the EKG's pulses. Tilting my head just slightly to the side in an effort to see the source of the melody, without dislodging any of the sensor's pipes stuck to me, I notice a little wooden box sitting on the nightstand next to the bed. Aw, it's the music box. My mouth opens just slightly when I silently watch a tiny yellow metal drum slowly rotate inside, and the little bumps on its surface gradually moving in and out of sight. The music box. It's the one I gave. The creaking of the door breaks me out of my reverie, my head and my heart remaining still as my eyes turn to see who comes through. Long tan skirt, peach off-the-shoulder sweater, pale almost porcelain skin, blue clouded eyes, and long yellow hair. All I can do is stare as Lily slowly walks to my room, her figure is lightly running over the wall for orientation, and my mind comes to a shuddering halt. Lily? She stops mid-stride, her entire body tensing. Hisao, was that you? Her voice is quiet and pensive, echoing her expression. I thought you were... Lily takes one tentative step forward, then another, as if she were holding herself back. Her control over her composure is for naught, though, as she finally rushes over to where I lay as the last of her resistance falls. I'm slightly taken aback. Hey! Where's the catheter? There's supposed to be tubes! Jesus Christ! I know it's supposed to look cute, but Jesus Christ! Continuity, people! But that's a big thing. I'm slightly taken aback as she grabs hold of me, hunching over as tears begin to fall from her cheeks, since only minutes ago I thought she was on the other side of the world. After a moment of hesitation, I rest my hand on her soft shoulder. Hisao! Her body trembles as her tears blot the pale green sheets, her emotions flooding through her carefully maintained exterior. With her face now closer, it made easier for her to see for her pale skin being lit by the sunlight from the window, and notice her cheeks being redder than they should be. It's okay, Lily. I'm okay. You don't need to. She rights herself quickly, her crying forcefully stifled with both sadness and stubbornness remaining in her moistened eyes. Her prideful nature always having been something to contend with takes me off guard. Stop telling me not to worry about you, Hisao. Just this once, let me cry. I'm caught speechless. She waits for a response, but her composure breaks again after a handful of seconds. I swallow hard to try and settle my own emotions while she weeps onto my bed, a strange mixture of relief and depression welling up. Lily's here. She's really here. If I couldn't feel her skin under my hand, I'd hardly believe my own eyes. My efforts weren't for nothing. My body's attempt to take away everything that was important to me once again has been foiled. But now, I don't feel as happy about it as I thought I would. Seeing her here, crying like this over me, this is the one thing I wanted to avoid since coming to love her. No, even since leaving the hospital. I'm sorry, Lily. It's my fault I'm here. I shouldn't have tried to push myself so far. I gave a self-deprecating snort. After months of keeping myself together so nobody'd worry over me, and when I did something like this, I guess I'm pretty dumb. With a couple of sniffs and a long breath, Lily manages to pull herself together and calm down a little. Despite her red cheeks, moist eyes, and the line of tears still visible, she delicately wears that weak smile she seemed to give off so often. You needn't blame yourself. I heard that later that it happened as you were running down the road after me, right? Still! She wipes her eyes with the back of her hand, returning more to her old self as the rush of emotions wears off. Why did you run after me, Hisao? I move to respond, but notice her face tightening. Even after I said goodbye, and I'd left Yumaku Academy. She takes a moment to steady herself, her emotions almost bubbling up once again. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. Sorry? For the times when I wasn't there when you needed me. Until now, I thought you just being there would be enough. I only needed you by my side to make my day feel better. Even if my body may be like this, I want to help you, Lily, to be there when you need someone. But you always were there, Hisao. Why did you want to go to Scotland, Lily? Why? I told you before, because Akira was going, and because my family summons to their home. Why didn't you say that you wanted to go? I'm not stubborn often, but this is the one time I think I need to be. I want you to stay here, Lily. I want you to stay where everyone you know lives, and where all your dreams and ambitions were made. If you choose to stay, I'll never leave your side. I won't let you lose another person. When I had my heart attack, I was snatched away from everyone and everywhere I knew. You showed me a new life after I came to Yamaku. I'd lost my past, but you showed me a future. It's true that I haven't always been there for you. I'm unreliable sometimes. Sometimes I lied, and I thought I'd come to understand you when I hadn't even understood myself. Be that as it may, I want to give you a future as well. I want to be there for you, to share both your burdens and your happiness, just like I promised back in Hokkaido, damn it! I want you to trust me. I know I had problems coming to put my trust in you after losing so many people I'd known after my heart attack, but that's how I know that being unable to trust others can feel awful. That's why I can't watch you just throw everything away like this. I never wanted you to go through what I did. I would do anything to stop that. You can be quite steadfast when you want to be, can't you? As I said, it isn't often. My weak smile drops, though, as my IV arm digs in a little. It's a harsh reminder of my tether to my condition. Lily's face tenses as I let out a small gasp of pain, immediately making me wish I'd stifled it better. All I can do is sigh in defeat. I tried not to let anyone worry over me for the entire time since I left the hospital. But I can't even stop the one person I love most from crying over me. Sorry, I'm burping. Damn it. Even if I might finally be able to put my feelings into words, I feel pretty useless with a body like this. Every time I tried to reach towards something, it was just snatched away. And even now, things only turn out for the better due to luck. I guess that's something else I should apologize for. All I can never do is make you worry. Even now, there's very little chance I'll live anywhere near a full life. The feeling of Lily's warm, soft hand moving over my left cheek makes me lift my head up, her smile gentle and warm as she touches me. I think that is something very natural for you to say. You were always so sincere and self-conscious. You were always so reserved and mild-mannered and patient to a fault with Hanako, yet curious about everything and everyone. When I said I missed you while when I said I missed you while I was with my family, I wasn't lying or exaggerating. The thought of you was never far from my mind and helped me through that time. That's why I was so confused about what to do when my family summoned me. Even after I thought I had made my decision, you tried your hardest to challenge me about it. I didn't confess to you out of pity or believing you were somewhere different from where you are. I confessed because I never want to lose you, and I want you always to be part of my life, no matter what might change. You are a very beautiful person, Hisa. Your heart changes none of that, so please, don't apologize for yourself anymore. For a long time, silence reigns in the room. I'm not really sure what this newly born feeling inside of me is, but it pales to insignificance as I wordlessly gaze at Lily's smiling face, warm and gentle as it has always been. It's only her thumb crosses my cheek, wiping away a single drop of moisture that I realize this is all I've ever wanted. For what feels like the first time, I give an earnest, wide smile. As Lily feels it against her palm, she returns the gesture. More time passes before either of us says a word, neither of us needing speech to communicate our feelings to each other. I know I can't promise you that I'll always be around, or that we'll always be together forever. With some difficulty, I slowly lift my hand, place it on her pale shoulder. But I think I can at least take you to next year's Tanabata festival to make up for making you miss this year's. Lily's expression is one of surprise, though I can't say I blame her. That's such a weird comment, bro! You remembered that? I've got a pretty good memory. Sometimes. She raises her head a little and takes her hand from my cheek, giving a small amused giggle. I smile absent-mindedly at how earnest it is, almost girlish in its lightness. Still smiling warmly, she collects herself and stands upright with her hand resting on my chest. It feels like I'm seeing her for the first time, the sun from the window glowing behind her just as it did when I first walked into that room where she was drinking tea. Very well then, shall we make it a promise between the both of us to go to next year's Tanabata together? Even if she can't see me doing so, I nod approvingly. I promise. I promise. What? That the end? What? Who? That's the end? What? What? What the fuck? That's the end? Bull! Fucking bull! That's it? What? What? Oh! What is this bull? That's it? I'm gonna let the credits roll, but what the flying fuck? This is bull! What? I expected so much more! I could have finished it last time! Fuck! I'm not satisfied by the ending! Not only that, there was no CG. What the fuck? There was no CG. Did I really get the good ending? What? 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 Was that really the good ending? Huh? Oh! Oh, there's more! Yay! I thought there wasn't gonna be more after the credits. Okay. Akira and Lily and I silently sit on the grassy embankment high above the local town, the breeze gently blowing through the cloudless sky. We may be just a few minutes' walk from town on a hill just outside its limits, but the view is entirely unexpected. Lily sits beside me, her eyes closed, as a gentle breeze flows through her hair. This is a nice area. Yeah, I never knew a place like this was anywhere near Yamaku. And I had to be the one to find it, of course. Akira's grin is genuine, but her tone is slightly different from her usual carefree nature. It's good that you're out of the hospital, though, Hisa. Nobody's more glad than I am. I can't stand hospitals. So, you two going back to school tomorrow? Yep. Akira chuckles in amusement before looking back out to the town, the trees between the buildings swaying in the wind. Pity we couldn't go up north for the summer holidays or get to Tanabata. I wouldn't worry. There's always next time. You'll be graduating before the next summer vacation, won't you? Yeah, there'll still be college after that, mind. Going to the same one? Likely. We both have high scores to meet the entry requirements. You sound so you sound so sure. Don't worry, you're better than I in most subjects. I guess we'll work out in due time. That's the way. Just enjoy yourselves in Yamaku while you're there. Lily gives a sad sigh at the distinction made between Akira and the two of us. Do you really need to go back to Scotland? Yeah, the folks are already out for my blood as it is. You weren't meant to stay this long? She gives her trademark wide grin. Setting my boyfriend up with a passport took some time. You're taking him with you? Just for a while at first. He's a surprisingly worldly guy, so I think he'll do just fine. I want to meet this boyfriend of yours. What the fuck? Even though I shipped you and Hideki at one point with your cousins, it was weird. Cause like, is that him? What the fuck? Huh? Akira gives an amused snort. If our father had his way, I'd have gone a long while ago. I just couldn't pass up an excuse to stay with my favorite little sister and a little while longer, though. She leans right and gives Lily a tight, playful hug, cheering her up considerably. It's nice to be with you one last time, though. For what it's worth, I'm in the same boat. Heh, thanks you two. I'll try and come back sometime, don't worry. It's a shame that the business keeps you so busy. The place won't run itself, I'm afraid, and I think it's going to be just the same over there. Considering that, I'd better get going. Have fun over there, Akira. Haha, will do! With a slight grunt, she lifts herself with her hands and stands up, dusting herself off as she does so. Well, I'd better be off. The plane won't wait for me, after all. She has a certain unusual wistfulness in the tone of her voice, her eyes firmly planted on her sister. I'll be okay, Akira. Yeah, I know. Come now, it isn't that bad. You'll be able to see us again soon. It's strange to have Lily reassuring a doubting Akira for once. She really has changed. Goodbye, Akira. Bye. For a second, the dark-clad figure looks down at both of us, smiling wildly, perhaps more wildly than I'd ever seen her do so before. She lets out a long, slightly wavering breath to steady herself before leaving, but eventually slips her hand in her pockets and turns on her heel. And with that, she walks away, one hand held in the air as she goes. See you later, you two! A jazz tune with no beat, melody, or direction to the very end. After a few moments of sitting silently, Lily and I pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off. Turning towards her with a broad smile, I hold up my hand. Shall we be off then? She takes my hand in hers with a gentle nod and a smile as beautiful and warm as ever. Indeed we shall, Hisao. Oh, beautiful! Oh my god! Hold on, can I get rid of the text? Can I get rid of the text? Hang on. Can I get rid of the text in any way, shape, or form? Can I do that? I want to take a screenshot of this. Oh god. Because I want to take a screenshot of this. It's such a beautiful CG. Look at that. Look at it. That's amazing. Dang. As we set off toward the school, that wonderful smile engraves itself into my memory. That wonderful smile that we both share. Our pasts may be scattered and at times overshadowed by sadness, but they're also an irrevocable part of our lives and personalities. Even if I could change a single thing, I wouldn't, because my past was what led me here. That's why, even with all that's happened to us before, and all that may well befall us, together, we'll keep walking forwards. Forwards toward the future. Our future. And that's it! One fucking part. That's all I recorded today. One fucking part. God! I'm a little salty that, because I thought there would be a bit more to the ending. But, I'm not gonna lie. This game just keeps getting better and better. I love it. Like, despite, like, me, like, recording in, like, chunks. Oh man, the story just got so much better. It's definitely a very heartfelt story. But, like, my one issue with it, they're all super freaking wordy, and, like, the wording can be considered, like, pretentious at times. Like, sometimes I think, like, you're putting way too much detail into this. Why put so much detail here? When, like, the setting's over here. And, like, I don't know. That's just my personal, like, preference, that, like, it's not focused enough on, like, the dialogue. It's more on Hisao's inner monologue. But there's honestly nothing wrong with that. Oh, yeah, cinema? Oh, okay. Library. Oh, yeah, these are all the things that, like, the path things that you could show. Yeah. But yeah, like, this game is amazing. Wow. I mean, it's not a game, it's a visual novel with choices, but, in all honesty, like, it's a really, like, heartfelt game. It makes you think. It makes you, like, it really does give you a shit ton of, like, things to think about. What's this? Oh, pills. Oh, wine bottle. Okay, can I get out of here? Nope, no. Can I get out of here? There we go. But like, it's thought provoking to some extent. It puts unfortunately it does put a romantic light on like handicapped people. Even though the handicaps are not the main focus, like it kind of show. But the thing is, it comes back with the fact that it shows that handicapped people are still people. They just have handicaps and they have their own way of dealing with it, and their own way of dealing with people who can't help but make their handicap the biggest deal in the world. And that's amazing to me. Like, it's fucking amazing. And I didn't realize that like this thing would tug at my heartstrings, and like make me think about like things. And in all honesty, I don't know many handicapped people like with physical handicaps or mental handicaps or of any sort. So like, I mean, my friend Beth has asthma, but it's not like life threatening to her or like completely impeding. But like, I've never met someone who had a complete and utter handicap, and like, while this game may not give me a full perspective on that, it makes me think like how I should like go about treating a person like this. But whatever, I don't know. Anyway, I would love to know what you guys think about this. I know that this game's really long-winded, and I'm going to be taking a break from it for a while, so it's not coming back next week with another part, because I only recorded one part, so I'm going to have to record more of something else later. But it is going to be a visual novel. There was one that was free on Steam that I've been wanting to check out because it was silly. At least the premise was silly, but I will be checking that out. But since I thought I'd be talking about it later, I'll talk about it now. It's that esports visual novel. I wanted to check it out because it looks silly and it looks fun to run through, but I don't know because like it has positive reviews, so I'm gonna check that out next week. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you see more videos from me or more from this series, hit the subscribe button. And you're now exiting the Shadyverse. My name's Shades, and hope you've enjoyed your day in the shade. See you guys later.